Life goes on, no matter the moment. There was a morning I didn't want to get out of bed. Not because I was tired, but because life felt too heavy. Something personal had collapsed the night before, and even as the sun rose, nothing inside me felt ready to rise with it. But then I heard the kettle whistle. The cat meowed for food. A delivery truck beeped as it backed into the street. Life was moving forward, even without my permission. So I stood up. Slowly. I made tea, watered the plant I'd forgotten, and opened the window. It wasn't dramatic. It didn't fix the ache in my chest, but it was movement. It was something. We often imagine life as something we direct, something we pause, control, or restart. But in truth, life doesn't stop, not for heartbreak, failure, or fear. It slows, maybe, grows quiet, but it keeps going. There is a strange kind of comfort in that, because when we feel stuck or broken, the world gently reminds us. The clock ticks, the sky shifts, the kettle boils. Even in your darkest hour, something continues. And that something might be small, but it's enough. Enough to carry you from this moment to the next. So if today feels like too much, remember, you don't have to leap. You just have to move, even if all you can do is breathe. Loss becomes part of a new life. Loss doesn't leave the way we hope it will. It doesn't pack itself neatly into the past or fade completely with time. Instead, it lingers, softly, insistently, like a shadow that follows you into every new place you go. At first, I thought the goal was to get over it, to return to how things were before. I measured progress by how much I could forget, how many days I could go without feeling the ache. But no matter how far I moved forward, the absence moved with me. Eventually, I realized something. Loss doesn't disappear, it transforms. It threads itself into the fabric of your days, into the way you notice small kindnesses, into the way you hold the people you still have a little closer. The life you build after loss isn't the same as the one you had before. It can't be. There are moments when the grief is still sharp, when it catches you off guard. But there are also moments when you see how the missing piece has shaped the rest of you, made you softer in some ways, stronger in others. Loss doesn't only take. Sometimes, quietly, it teaches you how to live more fully. So no, you don't move on from loss. You move with it. You let it walk beside you, and in time, you notice that your life, though different, is still whole in a new way. The heart grows tired first. Exhaustion isn't always in the body. Sometimes it starts in the heart, quietly, invisibly, long before the rest of you slows down. I used to think tiredness meant sore muscles, heavy eyelids, a body that refused to keep going. But I've learned that the heart can grow weary even when your hands are still working, your feet are still moving, your voice is still steady. It's the kind of fatigue that comes from caring too much for too long, from holding on when there's nothing left to grip, from showing up even when you've run out of hope. It's the weight of unspoken disappointments, the heaviness of dreams you've outgrown but still try to carry. When the heart is tired, everything feels heavier. The conversations, the choices, even the smallest tasks. You start to notice that your laughter feels thinner, your patience shorter, your joy harder to reach, and no amount of sleep seems to fix it. The truth is, we rarely give the heart permission to rest. We tell it to push through, to keep loving, to keep trying. But just like the body, the heart needs space to breathe, to stop carrying the load for a while. Maybe rest for the heart looks like letting someone else take the lead, or admitting you can't hold everything together right now, or simply sitting with the truth that you are not a machine, you are a human being with limits, and that's okay. The heart grows tired first, but if you listen to it, if you offer it gentleness instead of demands, it will find its strength again. The shape of loneliness. Loneliness doesn't always look the way we expect. It's not just an empty room or an unanswered phone. Sometimes it's sitting in a crowd and feeling invisible. Sometimes it's being loved, but not understood. For a long time, I thought loneliness meant the absence of people, but I've learned it can also mean the absence of connection, the gap between being seen and being known. You can be surrounded by voices and still feel like none of them can truly reach you. It's a quiet ache, not always sharp, but steady. It shows up in the pauses of conversation, in the moments you wish someone could read your mind without you having to explain. It's the fatigue of wearing masks, of translating your feelings into something more acceptable, of softening your truths so they don't scare anyone away. Loneliness, I think, is less about being alone and more about carrying parts of yourself in silence. Parts you fear would be too heavy, too messy, too strange for someone else to hold. And yet, there's something honest about it. Loneliness reminds us that we long to be known, not just noticed, that our hearts crave mirrors, not just windows. Maybe the shape of loneliness changes when we begin to share, not everything, but enough. Enough for someone to step closer, enough to let them see that the quiet isn't empty, it's waiting. What you see when you are alone. Being alone isn't just about empty spaces or silence. It's a chance to meet yourself without distractions, the parts you usually hide or rush past. I remember the first time I truly sat alone with my thoughts. No noise, no interruptions, just the rhythm of my own breath. At first, it felt uncomfortable, like staring into a mirror that reflected both light and shadow. But slowly, I began to notice things I hadn't seen before. The quiet worries tucked beneath my daily smiles, the dreams I'd forgotten to nurture, the small joys I'd overlooked in the rush of life. Aloneness reveals what's real, It strips away the noise and leaves you face to face with your true self, sometimes messy, sometimes beautiful, always growing. It's not loneliness, but a kind of clarity, a moment to gather strength, to listen deeply, and to remember who you are when no one else is watching. And maybe in those quiet moments, you find not just solitude, but a hidden well of peace waiting to be discovered.